Okay. So tonight on my show, Candid Conversations, I am blessed to have on my show with me the anointed female gospel recording artist, uh, the most phenomenal group ever to touch the stage and mic. Witness, everybody.
Hey, Ali.
Y'all doing?
Good, good.
Good. Y'all looking good. Y'all looking real good. Y'all looking real good. Okay. So listen, I just want to dive right in because we don't have a lot of time. So let's dive right into this. First of all, I just want to say thank y'all for coming on here and doing this with me. I really appreciate it. I know we tried this several times, but I think we finally got it right this time. All right. So let's talk about this first. How did Witness first start off? What is the origin of Witness? What is the genesis of your group?
Well, first of all, I want to apologize. I am out of town, and it's loud in this restaurant. But I'm gonna step over here just for a second.
Okay.
Because I need y'all to hear what I'm saying.
Okay.
Listen to me. Listen, everybody. Listen. Oh wait, let me get my mask. Okay.
Okay.
This is the thing.
Witness
started in 1986.
Okay.
The way that Witness started is Michael Brooks, his sister Tina Brooks wanted to sing, and she wanted to do a solo project. He advised her against it. He told her that wouldn't be a good thing to do. He said, so let me do, he said, let me put together kind of a female situation. She started singing like duet with Yolanda Harris.
Mm-hmm.
But he told her, because of commission, he said, let me put together a female situation, a female commission, and let's go from there. He advised her against doing a solo project. So back in 1986, that's how it all started. Tina wanted to sing. Michael Brooks already was rolling. Commission had hit really big, and the Lord had blessed Commission. So all of those connections and all of that, that we needed, that's how the group started, and the rest is history.
Okay. Now, Luann and Leah are not original members. Diane and yourself, you guys are original members. Who were the other original members when the group first started?
Well,
Go ahead, Diane.
The other members, she mentioned Tina, of course, Yolanda Harris. Then there was Marvin Wright, myself, and Lisa. So there were 5 of us at first.
Yeah.
Okay. And the name of that first album was Keep Looking Up, right? Dropped in '87. And,
yeah.
and that album was nominated for a Grammy, wasn't it?
That album was not, but I think the third? I think We Can Make a Difference was nominated for a Grammy.
We Can Make a Difference, okay.
Yeah, We Can Make a Difference was nominated for a Grammy. Yeah.
Okay. Now, the first group lasted for what? Three projects, right? It was 3 or 4? It lasted for about 3 projects. 4?
4, I believe. We had Keep Looking Up, Come Too Far, We Can Make a Difference, and Mean What You Say.
Mean What You Say, one of my favorite. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And, so now the exit that the other members made from that group, what kind of impact did it have? Like, and plus 2, how did it happen? What kind of impact did it have? And how did it happen? How did it was it like just one day they came and said, we're tired of being in the group, or was it like a gradual thing? How did the exit for the old members happen?
They just exited. No,
they just left.
Outie.
I'm out of here.
No, seriously though. I'm gonna let Diane say something, but real quick though, because I know you got a few questions to get to. But Tina and Yolanda, they quit the group. Mm-hmm. Well, first after the first year, we had 5. Then Marvy quit after the first year, so from then on it was 4 ladies. But Tina and Yolanda quit the group for whatever reason that they felt necessary, and it was very it was just it was chaotic. It wasn't pleasant. It wasn't good. I mean, the reason why I'm saying that is because you can do whatever you choose to do, but at this time, Witness was snowballing, and we had dates up the yazoo. We had gigs and television shows. We had stuff planned out. As a matter of fact, the week after that they quit, we had a major television appearance with Dr. Bobby Jones that he did the Gospel Explosion in Louisiana. So we had stuff on the book lined up. So it was chaotic. It was a lot to deal with, you know, at one time. So it wasn't a smooth transition. You know what I'm saying? But
Right.
it was difficult. It was difficult.
Right. And then so then the next set of members would be Leah and Luann that entered into the group. So how was that transition? Was it as easy as the first time around? Because, you know, sometimes when you get new members in groups, and I know you and Leah, being your sister, your blood sister, you and Leah have been singing together forever. But even with that, there were still new faces and new voices in the group. So how was that? Was it easier for you and Diane to kind of mesh with Luann and Leah when they got in the group, or was it a little difficult at first and then you guys, you know, kind of gradually got into it?
Let Diane go first on that one.
You know, I wouldn't necessarily say it was very difficult as far as them as individuals, because they came with their talent. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. They came with talent. But I know we talked about this at some point, where it just being in that push and in that rush to meet the date, you know, Lisa and, you know, we just had to get the songs. Lisa had to teach a lot. We had to make it happen as soon as possible. So that's where it was rocky. But as far as their gift and their talent they brought to the group, it was just getting us to mesh, you know, to come together, to blend.
Got you. And Leah and Luann, how was it for you guys being placed in a group like Witness? Because if I'm not mistaken, by the time you guys got in the group, they were already thriving, they were already doing their thing, and then you guys were inserted into the group at some point when they were like really doing their thing. So was the transition for you guys easy? Was it harder? Well, I mean, how was it for you?
You want to go ahead, Lou?
Yeah, it was amazing. The transition was a little challenging because, you know, I've never sang on a professional level. I've been in small groups like Group Blessed and Saved and singing in the choir forever. But when you're talking about professional recording artists, they were established. They had already had CDs out. This was a great group that I've always admired and wanted to be a part of. So that was the challenging part, but it wasn't like really difficult because Lisa embraced us and Lisa taught us the songs, and it was a fast move. We had to move fast. We had to grasp and understand and get those songs down pat. So it was challenging, but it was so fun, so exciting. Yeah, very, very fun.
What about for you, Leah?
I have to agree with Lou. It was somewhat challenging because they had already had projects out. And so the people were used to hearing a certain sound and they were used to seeing certain people. So for me and Lou to come in, it's like we had to make sure that, you know, we sound as close to the project as, you know, as much as possible, you know. So, and then to meet the deadlines, and it was kind of crazy. It was kind of crazy, but you know, Lisa made sure that we was on it.
Right.
And still making sure.
And still fussing. But we don't pay no attention to it. But we let it no, we listen.
Absolutely.
She act like she the oldest in this group.
Right. So you guys have including the first 4 projects with the original members. There's actually 10 Witness projects that are out here right now. Keep looking up. I've come too far. We can make a difference. Mean what you say. Standard. He can do the impossible. A song in the night. Love is an action word. An appointed time. And speak to the generations. Let me ask you something. Is it harder doing your set live, or is it harder going into the studio to actually record the projects that you have that are out right now? Which was harder for you? Because I know some people say they'd rather sing live because studio was challenging for them, or then you have vice versa. You have some people that say the opposite. What is it for a group like Witness? Is it easier for you guys to sing live together, or is it easier in the studio?
Well, I'll say that and I think somebody else said this when we talked a few days ago, but live, you can kind of skate a little bit. Because what happens is people only know that you messed up if you let them know that you messed up.
Right.
Right.
So live, you could even miss some words. I mean, Lou has been on stage and forgotten sentences. You know what I'm saying? So she'll be on stage, hallelujah. Come on, put your hands together. So, but in the studio, you can't do. In the studio, you can't do that. You gotta be precise. I know I am very precise with the harmonies and with the, and we all are. So we got to get it right. And then Bishop Brooks, who's the producer and the one in there, and even at some point, it looks like when Witness goes back in the studio to do an EP or to do a single or whatever, even if he lays the vision down and uses other producers, he's still executive producer, and he's gonna want to hear a certain thing. So in the studio, you got to get this thing right. We came from a school. We came from a school of sing. Where you had to sing, where it was no auto tunes in, it was no it was no stems vocals in the tracks. Witness, we really sang. So that's the school that we came from. We weren't always perfect. We had flat and sharp and timing and pitch. But the point is, when you learn from that school, you understand that you have to perfect it and get it right. So I would say studio is more meticulous, it's more detailed, it's more, for us, really getting it right and singing it over again and stacking it. Where live, you get out there and you sing, and push come to shove, if you forget the song, you get to squalling and praising God. They're gonna praise God and scream with you.
Right.
So the rest of you agree? The rest of you agree, like live?
I know for me, studio is for me, because like Lisa was saying, you get in there, we never had a chance to have the songs sent to us by email and we get a chance to listen to them and get familiar with them. We didn't know the songs until we got in the studio and put the headsets on. Then that was the first time we heard the song. And then Bishop Brooks, he would talk the lyrics. And a lot of times he was making up the lyrics as we were singing. And I'm like, wait a minute, let me write this down. And he's like, no, we ain't got time for that. So we had to learn, to pronounce the words at the same time, to when to cut off. And so the studio, because live, we can do whatever and kind of get away with it, but not the studio.
Right. Anybody else want to comment on it?
Agree, because I think live too, you can kind of get you feeling the hype of the crowd, and you feeling each other. But studio, you got to come with your hype, you got to come with your feelings. You can't be in there, sounding dead. You got to feel the songs, you got to feel the lyrics, stay on pitch.
Okay. Luann?
Well, I concur with that. I believe studio is work. The studio is where you work. The live is a little where it's fun. You get to come together and sing what you have learned and what you put on the CD or whatever. But the only challenging part about live is they want to hear. You might be messing up, but they want to hear that sound that you worked on.
Right.
So the most hard part, the work, is the studio. But when you get out and when the atmosphere is set, the spirit is high, you can, as everyone else alluded to, you can make mistakes, but it's still all fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. Okay. And when you guys are in the studio with Bishop Brooks, how much say so do you actually have in your studio sessions? Is it just like, does he just bring everything to the table and you guys just do what you're told, or is there a situation like you have a little say so about maybe the songwriting or the production? How does that work?
No say so.
It's like
it's like his vision, his decision. we just sing it.
But the one part that I think he would allow a lot of the creativity to come out when we would go in at the mic and we could, the harmonies, feeling the harmonies and the notes and you know, just adding things. And, you know, we had some creativity in that area. But what he had the vision for that song is what it was, you know.
Yeah. Now, let me ask you this.
Turn you up.
How much can you guys hear? Is everything okay?
I need Di to come up some. I can't hear Di. I really can't hear Diane.
Okay, I'll come up.
Okay. Listen, let me ask you this. Because I know it happens in every group. Every group that I know of, what I'm about to ask you happens. How much disagreement do you guys have? Do you get along the majority of the time, even in and out of the studio? Or is there like sometimes you feel like, I don't want to be around, I don't feel like being around them today?
We always arguing.
Y'all argue a lot.
That's the thing. But the thing is, we know how to disagree in love. Okay. That's the thing. You know, me and Lou can fall out, whatever, but I won't let you fall out. I won't let you do nothing to Lou. Me and Lou can, but you can't.
Right.
So that's how it is with all of us, though, you know, but oh yeah, we done had our shares. Oh my God.
Lots of plenty fallouts and disagreements and arguments, all kind of stuff like that. You know, at the time, when it's time to hit the stage or minister, you gotta do what you gotta do. I mean, and then you only let it go so far. I mean, the Bible even says, you know, the Bible says be angry, but don't be
everybody on, you know.
Yeah. And that is so true. Now let me ask you this: moving forward, working with Bishop Brooks, he's a phenomenal songwriter and producer. And even prior to building Witness, he already had his thing going with Commission and with other songwriting for other people. How is it working with Bishop Brooks? Because a lot of people would love to work with him and don't have that type of access. How is it working with Bishop in the studio and what live even? But how is it working with him?
Somebody want to go?
How is it working with Bishop?
Bishop Brooks, yeah.
Bishop wasn't hard to work with. His wife was. that was the thing. Bishop was easy. Bishop was a piece of cake. It's Lisa.
What would you say you learned from working with him? Because I mean, you know, the level of knowledge that he has for songwriting and studio production is like, it pales, you know, other people pale in comparison. But I'm saying, what did you take from his teaching? Like, you know, what did you learn?
Well, go ahead, Diane.
No, go ahead, Lou. I was trying to hear him.
Yeah, Mike was a professionalist, you know, so it was like he would be nice about it, but when we would get together, he would let us know y'all chops wasn't up at all, you know. Right. We would get in that room and after he feed us and take care of us, he let us have it. Y'all got to get the chops up. So it wasn't no falling out. That was just the way it was.
Right.
He would say you guys were horrible.
Yes.
But I mean, it's just one of them things, you know.
Right.
You got to get it right.
Yeah.
But you know, he had a way of getting or pulling the best out of us. You know, when we were, you know, in the studio, he had a way of, you know, the way he would talk to us, you know, and it wasn't all the time like, you know, you better, but then there were times that he was hard on us, you know, and it wasn't time for no pity parties.
Right.
But he had a way of, you know, pulling the best out of us.
Right.
And there were times in the studio, if we weren't vibing, a lot of times it's like, come back tomorrow. You guys just go home, come back tomorrow.
Right.
It's just, that's what it was. So,
right.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. And you know, with all the success that your group has had, how do you guys stay humble? Because, you know, there's a lot of people out here who they taste a little bit of success, whether it be by way of winning a Grammy or whatever, or, you know, all type of accolades, and they kind of change a little bit, and they'll walk right by you like they don't know you, even though they've been knowing you for 20 years. How do you guys stay as humble as you are? Because I know you personally, and I know each one of you. You've never changed. You've been the same since day one. So, but how do you maintain that?
Well, I
Go
always
ahead.
say, you know, whatever success anybody reaches, it only makes you a little bit more of what you already were. Like if your character, if you were not a humble person before success, then you won't be after. But if you are, your character is already kind of humble, success is not going to change you. It's just who you are. So, you know, when some people get power and success, they just become, you know, more of what they already were. So, I mean, this group, our group, we just had a level of humbleness where we were so grateful for every opportunity. We were so grateful for, you know, the people that welcomed us and our, if you want to call it fan base. We was just so appreciative. There was no room for, you know, trying to be proud or trying to be heavy-headed or whatever, high-minded. We was just like that. Yeah.
And I think too, a difference that Witness, if I can say this, a difference that Witness made was we all loved to sing and it was passion.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We love to sing. Now, don't get me wrong. We're all flesh. We're all human. It's flattering. People walking up to you, want your autograph and wanting to take pictures, and you nominated for stuff, and you doing, you know, you opening and doing gigs with Jodeci and Stevie Wonder and different people. All of this stuff is flattering, but to your flesh it is. But I think because we all love God, and because we were already active, involved in singing in our choirs, and we loved our local ministries and all, that connection to the real deal and understanding your relationship with God is what defines who you are. That's the thing that was the difference for Witness, because we all love to sing. It was, I mean, you don't even have enough time. The stories, it was time we go out and have incidents and situations where you thought you were going to get a certain amount of money, you didn't get it, or you didn't get it, or you didn't get the back end. Witness never said we're not singing.
Right.
Bishop Brooks never came in the dressing room and said, "Okay, y'all, let's go. You're not singing." No. Look. The promoter didn't handle all of the agreement. Y'all go out there and sing one or two songs. Because these are people, these are souls. So I think that's the difference with Witness. It was the passion for singing. We love to sing. You know, and that's a big thing. You know, if you're mad, you love to sing. If you happy, it's just passion, and passion drives you. So I think that was real important for us. And then we checked each other too. You know what I'm saying? Like when every time Leia acted grand, we checked her.
Right.
Y'all know that's not true. Y'all know that's not true.
I was thinking about listening to Lou and Leia, and just the past few days, you know, connecting.
I can't hear.
Come a little closer to the phone, guys.
I can't hear it all.
What? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. What I was thinking about you is the thing because we had that's behind the mic now sing. I remember when your grandmother died, I showed up, you know, when things were happening in my life, I showed up. You know what I'm saying? So we have history together.
Right.
And so life happened to us, just like with other people. And you realize that you singing and you love it, and you Grammy nominations and all that stuff, but life was happening to us too. So I think what helped us even in singing together was, you know, they know a lot of my history. I know their history. You know, what happened in our life, and they would show up or call or, you know, so we did more than just sing together.
So it's you're saying it was more like a family than a group.
Right. Yeah. I mean, you know what I'm saying? Yes, we had disagreements. Families do. You know, they have disagreements. But the simple fact that, you know, when things happen, and I know Lou called or I've talked to Lisa or there was Leia. Even now, I talk to Leia from Germany all the time. You know, I don't see Lou and Lisa as much, you know, because they're first ladies. They have a lot going on. But still, we're touching each other's lives. And I think that helps us be who we were. Even in the studio, we can be that person live because that's who we were.
Right.
And the thing too is that sometimes like Witness had such a long run. Diane and I were roommates for 5 years. So it was times I was on the road looking in Diane's face and I would sometimes Witness would be gone. Witness would be gone like every weekend, Thursday through Monday, sometimes for 4 months, for 90 days, for it's Thursday, Friday, Saturday, back home Sunday, or Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, back home Tuesday. So I mean, we had a constant traveling situation. We spent a lot of time together, sometimes more than we were at home, depending on what was going on, because you had to promote the project. You know, you would make the project, but you had to do your promotional tours. We were in the radio stations. We were in their faces. The announcers, they loved us because we were personable and we were, you know what I'm saying? That's a lost commodity now, because a lot of artists don't do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? But we were like in the faces, going to the station. You know, it was a good thing. But yeah, we spent a lot of time together. So you can't help but to really bond, not unless something's wrong with you.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not unless you just off. You're going to bond. You're going to bond. So the bond was there. And of course, different things will come to try. Because the devil, the adversary, whatever you want to call him, he hates unity. He hates it flat out. So he's going to try and do whatever he can. He's an accuser of the brother. And so we dealt with all that kind of stuff to make somebody look shady. Somebody from behind the scenes, say something to a group member, to look at somebody else. All of that ain't nothing but a ploy for the devil. But at the end of the day, the bond was there.
Yeah. But you know, I want to say also that one of the ways that kept us humble was our relationship with God, first of all. You know, and then we all, you know, always would come together over at Lou's house, and we would have prayer. You know, we would lay before God in her living room, and we'd be all on the floor, and we'd be laying before God, and it caused us to come together, a closeness like family. Another wake-up call is there was times where we were the headliners, but then we had a group that opened up for us and can blow and can sing not just as good, but even better. So, that'll keep you humble, real. It keep you humble.
Keep your tail real humble. For sure. Have you guys ever had what you would consider to be a terrible performance? Have you ever had like that performance where you left the stage and felt like, oh my God, what just happened?
Yes.
Absolutely.
How many times?
Name the time and date. Right now, I want to know right now. When did that happen?
Jesus.
Many times. I can't even. I'm trying to think. You know what? There's a Witness fan page on Instagram, and they put up a clip of us singing at the Stellars, and we were doing Old Landmark, and there was a clip of me singing. I was a hot mess. I wanted to tell them, take it down. I didn't want to be rude. And I was like, because you know why? Then I was developing how I was singing and trying to find myself. And then what happens is, and I tell a lot of people this that ask me questions about being an aspiring artist or just a worship leader, whatever. Don't let the crowd geek you up. So they're getting it from, they can be standing, you getting all geeked, they standing, now I'm going to go in, now I'm going to go crazy. So I'm looking at the clip and I'm like,
Right.
Because you get so hyped, you have to focus. You have to think about what comes next. Singing is thinking, you know what I'm saying? So there's so many times you look back and go, did I just do that? Oh my God, I'm embarrassed right now. I never want that clip. As a matter of fact, when we're done, I'm going to DM them.
Take that down right now.
Take it down.
Okay, listen. I want to know this too. I'm going to dig a little bit between Diane and Luann. I have a question for you too. There was a time where both of you guys you left the group for a short period of time. What was the reason behind that? Was it because you were just something else going on in your lives at that time that you felt like was more important, or were you just at the fed up stage where you felt like, okay, I've done enough of this, let me try something new? what was the reason behind you guys leaving the group for that short period of time that you did?
Well, for me, because I left the group first, I believe, and it wasn't that I had enough of the singing or the ministry part, but I just felt like my season was changing. That there were just times, because I was working awesome full time, but I just felt that there were times when my whole heart wasn't there because of other things. And if your whole heart is not into ministry, it won't be effective. I don't care how good you sound. If there's some other discrepancies or interference or distractions, then you need to take yourself out and just say, hey, you know what, I'm going to change, and just kind of, regroup, retreat. And so that's why I got out, because I felt like that season was best for me to just kind of move on. And, but I did come back.
Yes, you did.
So
you did.
Yeah, I had a little sabbatical. That's what I had.
Okay.
But that was my reason.
Okay. What about you, Diane?
Okay. I don't remember getting out of the group.
Okay.
I do remember. I do remember there was a time I had a lot of challenges going on.
Okay.
Personally, and I think something came up, and I could not meet that obligation at that time.
Okay.
And so, things had to move on, so they couldn't wait for me to work through, whatever I was working through, because Witness was still doing what they were doing. And so, I was no longer part of it. But never not wishing success.
Right.
Stuff like I said, they're part of the fabric of my life. So I always felt like I was a part. But at the time, I did have a lot of things going on. So I could not meet the obligation at the time.
Okay. Now, I want to know something from you guys, and you can be as honest as you want to be, which I know you will be anyway. Has there ever been a situation, because Lisa broke off and did a few solo projects. So was there ever a time where the three of you felt like, kind of, I won't say, you were angry at it, but I'm saying, was there ever a time you kind of felt like, why she do that? You know what I'm saying? Because how some groups, they look at one of their members, if they break off and do a solo project, they kind of look like, well, dang, she's over there doing her thing, Was there ever a time where you guys felt a little ill will towards that, or was it always just love?
On my side, it was always love. I mean, to me, she was in her right to do it. I mean, Lisa is multi-talented, and she's not just restricted to a group. She is solo. She is solo quality. I wouldn't have never tried to break off solo. As much as I'm gonna do is lead a song, and you have to know. You have to know who you are. You have to stay in your lane. Lisa been singing, and she is solo project material. Why would we be upset? I didn't have no jealousy in my heart. I support whatever she did. To me, I forgot I was in the group when she was singing anyway.
Right.
And everything when she was singing. So
she's telling the truth on that right there.
Okay.
I know for me, it wasn't, of course there's jealousy. You want anybody in the group, them wish them much success. But I think I went through a period of, it felt like separation anxiety, where, like, wait a minute, we're a group, not realizing fully that you can do things that's so close knit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And always wishing them, wishing her much success. Even now, she's doing, doing her thing, and that's good. You know, but I think at that time it was kind of like, no, like separation anxiety. Like, really, you really gonna do this now?
Right. Leah, you feel the same way?
It was love, and by me being, sister, my sister can sing, so very anointed, can go, and nobody never be able to take that away from her. Right. And I'm here to support all day long, back then and even now. But because we had gotten a close knit, you know what I'm saying? I just felt that I would have rather heard her news not from people from the outside or the media. I would have rather heard it from her and have her to communicate.
Oh, right.
You know, because you know some people
get from?
Huh?
I called y'all and told y'all I was gonna do a solo project.
I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was probably, I don't know. I don't, because I know when I did hear it, we were doing a show and we were in the like a dressing room. We were sitting there and this guy came in and he was interviewing us and he was like, so Lisa, what about your solo project? And I was like,
so you didn't know anything about it prior to that?
I didn't. But I was excited for her. Don't get me wrong now.
Yeah.
I was excited for her.
That's somebody who wasn't paying attention.
See, there she goes.
Because I know
Mouth almighty.
I know I told y'all. I know y'all was the first ones I told.
I'm serious. I don't remember. She probably did, but I'm just being honest. I don't remember. She probably did, but I just don't remember.
But it never separated us. When she did
no.
We
never separated.
No, we never stopped being witness. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So if she had never told us it wouldn't have mattered because she never stopped witness.
Yeah, we still gonna sing now and still do what we gotta do as a group and as a family. Yeah.
And the reason why I asked that is because so many times you find a lot of groups that will break up because of something like that. But to see that you guys stuck together even after she went to that's rare.
Yeah.
And my main thing with that was, I tell that story to this day, was as a matter of fact, my main goal with that was I was almost 2 clicks from begging y'all, because I remember saying we don't have to break up. They've been asking Michael Brooks for a year. At first I told CGI no. I told them no, I didn't want to do a solo project. I hated singing solo. I love singing in the group because I felt like nobody wanted to hear me. Back then, you were putting 9 and 10 songs on a record. And I always felt like nobody wants to hear one person sing 10 songs. I was totally against doing solo. And they kept pushing. And then when they said, just do one solo record, you don't have to, we're not breaking up witness. We just want a solo record. I remember verbatim telling y'all what they said. And I said, we don't have to break up because of that.
Now I remember that. I remember that. I do remember. I remember that. Yeah, I remember that.
Because I love singing in the group. As a matter of fact, when I first started doing solo, I want to say the first couple of months, I actually would look back almost like y'all was there.
Right.
Because I was used to that. I was used to going like this. And I was like, oh, that's right. The vocals is in the track. It ain't no group.
Wow.
Right.
And you didn't have me to say you're doing flat. You're going flat. You didn't have me that.
You know, she had her favorite motion.
Right.
Come on up. Go on up.
Absolutely. I want to ask you something else here. And I know this might be a hard question to answer, and I asked this in the last interview, but I really would like a specific answer this time. What out of all the projects that you've done, what's your favorite project that you?
Oh Lord, here we go.
I need to know. What's your favorite project? Because you got 10 strong projects out here. What would you say is your favorite one, and why? Why does it hold a special place in your heart?
Well, mine was that's a shame. I forgot that. But whatever Safety was on, I think that was Standard.
That's standard. Yeah.
That Safety is just something about that song. I've even told the group, when I go to sleep, if I go to sleep before any of y'all better come sing Safety like you did. That's the song for me. Safe in His Arms. I love that song. So that was my favorite.
Okay.
Mine. The Standard. He can do the impossible, and A Song in the Night.
Wow.
Diane.
Yeah, see, I couldn't give you one before, so
you can give me more than one. That's fine.
It's something about that. After the Storm, that he can do the impossible. I was putting on After the Storm today in my car. I was listening to that today.
Yeah.
And that Standard, that Standard album was something.
What about you, Lisa?
if I had to pick one, whatever, um, whatever You'll Never Walk Alone is on. That's He Can Do the Impossible.
He Can Do the Impossible.
That's on He Can Do the Impossible.
Yeah, that the lyrical content for that is great.
Yeah, and that's another thing that that you guys had privy to was phenomenal anointed songwriting by Bishop Brooks. A lot of groups that I know of, a lot of solo artists that I know of, they can sing and they can tear a house down, but there's no anointing. And I'm not here to bash anybody for that, but I'm just saying, just from what I've experienced in the music industry all my life, hearing the songs that Bishop wrote for you guys were, to me, all of them were anointed. You know, and God, he allowed God to use his pen to pen these songs for you, to write these songs for you guys that really touched a lot of lives. So what's your take on, and I like to big up, he's still my bishop. I like to big him up. What is your take on his songwriting? What about his songwriting makes you feel like, you know, hey, that's epic?
Well, most of the lyrical content was based on the scriptures, on the word of God, and the word never returns void. So there was anointing, there was oil on the word of God. He was just the man behind the pen, but he wrote according to the word of God, and it was so rich. That's why I would say it was most effective.
Yes.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with Lou.
Okay. Now, switching gears. Everybody answer that. I don't want to talk over nobody. Everybody answer that question.
No, it's definitely lyrical content, but also Bishop tells a story too. And one thing that he says, if you're going to be a songwriter, if you're going to write about the problem, you have to write about the solution.
Yes.
He would always tell a story. He would always give you the story. It would build up. The song would always go somewhere. He always took it somewhere with lyrics, and he would take it somewhere with production as well. So that was the great part about it. In hindsight, because a lot of times we're in the thick of making records every year, every 2 years. Witness is constantly in the studio. Then you kind of stop when it kind of slowed down and stopped, so to speak. And you look back at all of these songs, and it's just almost like a book that we sang. We sang a book.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I needed help very desperately, hopeless case, but now I'm free. Since he came into my life, it was just in the nick of time. Changed the sensitive soul of mine since he came into. I had nothing that I could give. You gave me a reason to live. I was down and seeking deep. Now I can say, Lord, be lifted. You notice I took my time to sing my line.
Right.
See, I could have never done that because I don't remember the words. I could have never told you.
But you know what, Ali, we were I love how Lisa even put it, because I know we talked before, and we talked about how we would get in the studio and the lyrics would impact us. You know, we're saved for real. We may not be perfect, but we're saved for real.
Yeah. Now that I do know. That I know for sure. Yeah.
You know, that we would actually have church in the studio. I mean, just the four of us, because it ministered to us.
Yeah.
I remember one song, I think I led this one, Take the Time to Wait, and at that very moment, he didn't know, but there was a scene that win. And I had to read that song. And I was like, wow, how did he know, you know, that how he you know, and like
Ali, we cannot hear Diane.
I couldn't.
Can't hear it. Can you mute the restaurant for now?
I think it's the background noise. It's the background noise.
And somebody texted and said they can't understand. It's on live, but they can't hear because of the noise. They just text me, so I'm just saying, I don't know.
You might have to put that, and then when Lisa wants to talk, you can unmute her so she can talk.
Y'all messing up the live.
I think she might have to mute her microphone, because I can't mute her from here.
Oh.
Yeah. There we go. Can y'all hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. Can you still hear me though, Lisa? Okay, all right. Yeah. So no, I'm sorry, Diane, what were you saying?
No, I was just, you know, reflecting back on how the lyrics minister to us so much in the studio. You know, we rejoiced in the studio. We had church, you know, with each other in the studio based upon singing "No Weapon Formed Against Me Shall Prosper." Because I am an overcomer, you know. After the storm, will you still seek him after the storm is gone? I mean, these are songs that minister to us. And like I said before, if your music doesn't minister to you and touch you, how are you going to minister that to somebody else? You have to have that experience with your own music. So I appreciate that about what we did as a group. I still listen, not just because, oh, let me hear. No, I listen to feed me too. I pull on our songs when I'm going through some difficult things. Our group is one of the, you know, groups I pull on to minister to me. So
I mean, and definitely for me as an outsider, listening to the songs that you guys recorded, there were a few times where I was going through something personally, and you know, I got to myself, and you guys were definitely in my song list. You know, just listening to the lyrical content, like you said, listening to the lyrical content, and like Lisa also said, the storyline and how he delivered it in the writing, and how you guys delivered it, because he could have written those songs all day long, but the way you guys delivered the actual songs were also as anointed, you know. So I just wanted to say that. Your delivery played a great part in that also as well. Listen, okay, so switching gears very, very quickly, because we have only a little time left. Switching gears, I want each one of you to touch very briefly on what's going on in society today with all the lynchings of, you know, African Americans and all the things, the riots and protests and all the crazy stuff that's going on. Even with our president, you know, some like him, some don't. I mean, you know, I won't give my opinion on that. But what do you guys think? What do you guys think about the state of not just the world, but to narrow it down more so America itself?
Well, I believe that there's a lot of things that are being uncovered now that has been happening for years and years, but there comes a time when God will take the cover off of wrongdoing and evilness and wickedness, even though we know that this is a sign of time, that this has been revealed in the scriptures, that these things will take place. But God still wants his people to live a life of freedom and not to be, and not to operate in racism and all of that. So a lot of stuff that's been happening over the years, the Lord is just pulling the covers off. And it hurts. It hurts to see it. It hurts to admit to it. But people are change agents, and they are expecting change, and they're protesting, and that's what it is. It's like we haven't been heard all these years. It's time to be heard. So it's a cry out. It's a cry out, but at the same time, with the same sincerity and severity, people need to cry out to God, because he's the answer for the world today. Everything that's happening, they can think and talk about. All you hear on CNN is, well, I think this, I think that. When will people know? God is all knowing. He knows what the end is going to be. So for the world, they need to turn to God. From 45 on down, need to turn to God, because this thing is not going to get any better.
No, it's not.
So we just have to maintain our focus on God. If you're ministers, keep ministering. If you're loving, keep loving. If you're giving, keep giving. In this season, God is doing some things that we have never been here before, but we still have to trust God. We still have to elevate our faith. We cannot waver in our faith. We still have to stay on the wall and know that God, you know, God is with us and he's still in control.
Yes,
so that's
all facts. Yeah.
Wow. And I'm unmuted now, so
okay, go ahead.
I'm unmuted real quick. And definitely, I mean, the stuff that's been going on forever. Racism is just wrong with the and the only thing that cures sin is the relationship with Jesus. So basically, when you peel it all the layers down, the thing about, and the protest is good with an agenda that makes sense. You just have to make sure that you're not connected to nothing crazy or off or nothing undercurrent that's violent or anything that's hateful. You know what I'm saying? Hate is not going to cure it. So definitely we need to love, but protesting with an agenda is amazing, because you have a voice, and then it has an agenda with it. I'm doing it for this cause. I want this result. It's for this reason. But racism is sin. It's sin. You can't. It's one human race. We have different ethnicities, but it's sinful. And the only thing that cures a sinful, corrupt, wicked heart is Jesus Christ. That's the answer. Period.
That's it.
That's the only thing that's gonna do it. It's what we should do as our culture is to continue to speak up. But I think I was telling somebody this earlier, let's stop doing it from a hateful standpoint, because we're not going to get nowhere with that.
Right.
You're not going to get anywhere addressing being hateful. Yet, see what they did to me. See how they, 400 years ago, all of that stuff took place. But the point is, where am I at now? What can I do now? Well, one thing we can talk to generations before us. We can talk to all of our friends that don't look like us and address the issues and communicate and pray. It's amazing to pray for the heart.
Yeah.
Praying for the heart. If the heart don't change, the agenda won't change.
That's true. That's true. That's it. That's it. Yeah. Leah?
I'm over here in Germany, so I mean,
and you know what? That's a good point, though. That's you being in another country. What's happening over in Germany? Is it different over in Germany, or is it the same? Are they protesting? Are you guys doing the same thing over there as we're doing over here?
Yeah, there's been a lot of protesting going on to support, African Americans in the United States. And I mean, I'm honored. I mean, just to see, like, in Berlin and Frankfurt and Cologne, and I mean, I can go on the different places over here in Germany, and I'm talking about they're coming together in thousands, like 3,000, and they're protesting, and it's awesome. But it's still different over here. I mean, you have some areas over here where they are racist, some small areas, but the majority, they're not having that over here, really, so it hurts to see what our people are going through, but at the same time, I'm happy and I'm glad to see that we are now starting to make a stand.
Yes.
But my thing is, we got to do it the right way. In order to be successful, we got to do it the right way. It has to be done the right way. Just continue to pray and stay on our post and stay focused. Yeah, because God is moving.
Yes, He is. Yeah, absolutely. Diane?
Yes, I definitely, the three of them have just really preached the message that quick on what's happening.
Lisa, mute your mic one more time.
I remember, especially when Mr. Floyd was murdered. I remember that morning, God gave me one line, and I wrote a poem like in minutes, because my heart was so full. But I think the scripture, and Lou alluded to as well as Lisa, it's like, awake, awake, O Zion, put on your strength. And this is an opportune time for the church, as we move toward the end revival, to put on our strength, even with the Black Lives Matters and our voices, all of that is very important. And Lisa said this well, that it's your heart. It's time for us to turn to Christ. When we look in the Bible, we see a lot of what's happening. It's already been prophesied. So the saints shouldn't be totally surprised.
Right.
But we're hurt. We're affected. I'm starting to see that I live in a time when my grandparents told me about these things, or I read about them in a book. Now it's like it's at our door. And so God hates injustice, and so should we. So all the way from the White House, all the way down, it should be a particular stand. If you want us to stand as Americans and respect you, that stand has to come from you. But just in case it doesn't, we have to trust, we have to believe in God, know who we are in God, and stand for Christ. That's the only way things are going to change. And to pray for those families and those, especially a lot of the Black families who have lost, men. Our men seem to be targeted. And that's what's so crazy. So even with COVID, and I'm almost done, I think it all bleeds together, because God is trying to get us our attention. Wake up, church. It's okay that you stayed in a few months. Seek me. That's okay. And seek me for the answers. As they just said, seek him for the answer.
Awesome. Now moving forward, what because you guys have had a lot of success, and you've been doing your thing for a very long time. Let me ask you this: who does Witness listen to? Like when you guys are not listening to your own music, who's Witness's favorite artist, if you have one?
Well, I am muted right quick. I do from time to time, depending on the mood, I put on Commission. I love Jonathan Butler. I love Olita Adams. Depending on my mood with Bishop, Bobby Caldwell, the Wyman.
I like how you slid that Bobby Caldwell in there.
And then yeah, and of course Bishop Wyman.
Yeah.
Bishop Wyman, but you know, it's just different things. Bishop Wyman is probably my favorite, but I like different music that makes sense and, you know, good singing.
Okay. Luann?
I have a large genre of music. I listen to John P. Key, Winans. I mean, whatever I'm going through, basically. I have different artists that I listen to for that time in my life. Sometimes I just want smooth jazz, and I listen to that. Yeah. Anita Baker, I listen to that. If it's clean lyric, I listen to it, So, and I listen to a lot of preaching sermons and stuff. So I'm not, I know you asked about music, but I don't really have a favorite. I just like Lisa. I listen to a lot of different artists.
Okay. Leah?
Oh, wow. For me, wow. I listen to, of course, Bishop Winans. I listen to the Winans, especially BB and CC. Jonathan McReynolds, Jonathan Butler. And then I like bossa nova, jazz, and I like to listen to Ella Fitzgerald quite a bit. But then I love the 70s music.
Oh yeah,
Put some 70s on, I'm good.
Right.
Yeah.
Diane?
Me too. I listen to a wide range. I love some classical music when I just want to chill. I like to just listen to a little bit of that. Jazz, like Lou said, definitely Commission. I pull the Hawkins family. Let me tell you, I pull from the Hawkins, the Christ. I get that every now and then. Oh, yeah.
That's Tremaine. Tremaine led that, didn't she? Tremaine Hawkins led that story.
Shirley.
Shirley.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I pull on the Hawkins family a lot. So I listen to a lot of different people. One song you did though, Ali, I love. I think you did it for Lisa, that No Other God.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I love that.
You know what? There's a story behind that record, and I'm gonna tell you really quickly. I remember the day I wrote that record. I produced it at home, and I had my little setup at home. So I remember when because I never liked my writing, never, and so I used to write, and plus, being around Bishop Brooks, like he could be very intimidating when it comes. You guys know what I'm talking about. When it comes to presenting songs to him, it could be a little intimidating because to me he's the master songwriter. So it's like, I'm going to my teacher almost like, you like this? And I remember when I wrote the song, I think myself, Bishop, and Lisa were at a restaurant on Woodward Avenue, right near the zoo. There was like this little restaurant, and we were sitting at this little table, and I said, I got this song, and I was so afraid to let them hear it. It was No Other God. And I was like, I started singing it, and then when I started seeing Bishop like get with it, I was like, oh, cool, you like it. Like, I was like, all right. I said, they might record this one. Okay, cool. But
No, but you said to me, when you finished it, I had to unmute for that. If you're gonna say it, you gotta say it right. Don't dance and tiptoe around the story.
No, I'm just telling it.
Okay, listen. You said to me, I got this song that I want to give to Karen Clark.
I sure did. And
I listened to it, and I was like, no other God. I was like, and then you said, I'm gonna submit it. Well, long story short, Karen didn't take the song, and I was like,
take it. That's
if
true.
you don't give me that song,
that's true. That's
so right. I can record it. And then when you let Bishop hear it, and you wrote the verses, he was like, Bishop, whatever. He was all a little squeamish, and he listened. He was like, the song is fine. He was like, that's great. You already get verses. And then all he did, he just played that little pass in me.
Right.
He was like, I don't even do nothing to that song. We recorded it at Mike Carl's studio.
Sure did. Sure did.
Wow.
Like I'm a mute. I'm gonna go ahead and mute my mic, but don't not tell the story right. All right, go ahead.
See, but you know what, Ollie? They play that over here in Germany.
Really? Really?
No other guy.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I should be going to my mailbox soon then. Well, okay, listen, moving on, because I gotta we gotta get up out of here. I got like 2 or 3 more questions and then we're done. What have you guys learned on this journey from just going back to day one? If you start from day one on all your individual journeys and witness, and you move up to now, what have you individually learned by being in this group? What has being in witness taught you?
Well,
say whatever's on your mind. You don't have to. Go ahead.
well, go ahead, Larry. You don't want to laugh, and go ahead.
I know. Leah laughing like it's some type of, I don't know. What's up? What you talking about?
I'm just laughing at Lou because she's like, well, I'm good. I've learned somewhat the business.
Uh-huh.
I know how to conduct business now, a spirit of excellence, when it comes to performance or having my stuff together.
Okay.
Because, in witness, it wasn't no, like we used to say, a that-a-do spirit and then go out there and just sing any kind of way.
Uh-huh.
That wasn't going to happen, because if you did, even if you looked or dressed a certain kind of way, you could see Bishop Brooks in the back and he's doing like this. And that means you're being fined that much money. And by the time he got done doing this, it was one incident.
Tell it.
It was one incident, and we just got done singing, and it was me, you, Ollie, and Diane, and we all rolled with you, Ollie. And Diane didn't have something right, and Bishop was like, Diane, you being fined 20. And she was in the back seat, and she was like, wait a minute, and she was like, Leah, let me out this back seat now. I said, no, Di. She was so mad at me. I would not. If she could have jumped Bishop Brooks, she would have been on him like a squirrel. She was so mad at him.
Oh no, he would definitely find you if you.
If you saw this, that mean, and he was serious. Yeah. He would take that much money if we were late. If he told us to come down in that lobby at a certain time, and we didn't do it,
you was getting fined. You was getting fined.
Fine. So I mean, I learned to be on time, punctual, and everything. So yeah, it paid off. Oh yeah.
Diane, what about you? What have you learned since you've been in witness? What was
actually the professionalism, the studio, because I did choir, I taught choirs, I played drums, but to actually get in the mic and professionally, and then go out and perform professionally, I had not done that before I got in the group, and it's different. Choir, group choir, it's a different kind of flow. So I learned that, and then also about the business. I was paying attention. Sometimes if I'm quiet, it doesn't mean I'm not not listening and taking it in, but if you sit quiet enough, you can learn something.
Right.
So I learned some things about the business also.
Absolutely. Lisa?
I would say I really, over the years, I could actually say I learned how to sing. You know what I'm saying? Like you came to the table in the 80s with the talent, God-given talent, but you matured it as you go. So I learned exactly what I need to do. I developed, I understand what Lisa can do, my limitations, my lane. You perfect your craft. So I think the benefit for me is what happened for me is what God gave me, which has allowed me to mature it. And I learned my identity as far as my voice. So that was a good thing. Yeah.
Okay. Luann?
Well, as Diane said, you learn professionalism. I didn't particularly learn the business of music because that wasn't my place to you know, I didn't have to take care of the business. I just wanted to get paid for what I was.
Right.
Just pay me.
To get them chips.
As far as the business, I wasn't in it to learn, okay, this and producing that, because I know I wasn't going to do no more than that. That was what I was going to do. But I learned that if you're a part of anything, that to be a part of it, you know, be responsible, make sacrifices. As Leah said, that, you know, we were prompt, you know, we had to be at the airport at a certain time, even though Michael wasn't sometime, but we better be there. Sometimes he was late, but
so you better be there, yeah.
Right.
One thing about me, I don't like running through airports. So it taught me discipline. It taught me when people have called for you and they're looking for you, don't play around, you know?
Yeah.
So it taught me a lot. And it even stems over to what I'm doing now in ministry as the first leading lady. You have to be the first example. So if you're leading people and in witness, we were leading people into worship, ministry, while it was fun and while we had our ups and downs. When we got on that stage, we ministered. And so it taught me that no matter what you're going through, when you minister, it's all about God. It ain't about your little feelings and how you feel about your person that's next to you. You get together and you better look at them and smile while you're singing, even though y'all don't speak after you leave. Ministry is about God. It's not about your little hang up. So it taught me a whole lot of things. I love, that was one of the greatest seasons in my life. And when I was with Witness, one of them, I've had great seasons, but Witness we had a remarkable time. We had so much fun in that group. We had so much fun.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I have fun being a musician, just, you know, enjoying you guys' presence and all the jokes and crazy stuff you've done on the road.
Pranks.
You was the
pranks, boy.
Crazy.
Okay, now I'm about to ask a question that I'm pretty sure every viewer wants to know. And I think you already know what I'm about to ask y'all.
Yeah,
will there ever be another Witness project?
You got to ask the man in the restaurant. Is he in the restaurant?
Right.
Do you think he can answer that for me?
In other words,
you gotta turn your mic on, Lisa.
Intensely. No.
Will there ever be another white head pencil?
That was the spot.
That was the spot.
Okay, we're live. Can you hear them? Can y'all hear him?
Yes.
Okay, so you can ask him the question for all the viewers. You're looking now.
Okay.
I'm prepping it. Hold on.
Okay.
Don't push in on it. Just let it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Ready?
Bishop, how are you? How's it going?
Very well.
Listen, I just want you to really quickly answer a question for all my viewers, because I'm pretty sure that's why they tuned in. They want to know, will there ever be another Witness project?
Well, you know, I would say probably a strong possibility. You know, I think we talked before, and I said that the landscape is a lot different. You know, so we probably would not approach it from, you know, like just doing 10, 12 songs. It wouldn't be that kind of thing. But I would certainly think that, you know, it's possible that we would do something to kind of put it out there and see, you know, how the marketplace reacts to it.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
It's a good chance. Sure.
Awesome. That was one of the main questions I wanted to get out here tonight, because I'm pretty sure that's one of the main reasons why people tuned in. They want to know that.
Yeah.
So, all right. Well, I appreciate it. Now here's my final question. Before I let you guys go, what is next for even including yourself, Bishop? What is next for each individual one of you in your careers and your lives? Because I know, Bishop, you have your church, and but you're still writing songs and you're still producing. I know you have not put that down. So,
certainly.
What is next for each one of you guys? What's going on in your life?
Well, I got a lot of stuff going these days. First the church, and then I became the presiding bishop of the organization that I was a part of.
Okay.
After the death of our presiding bishop, and Walter Lee Bates was his name, and we certainly honor him. But I was first assistant at his demise.
Okay.
And thought to maybe just kind of walk away, but a lot of the brethren felt like we should keep going. And so we changed the model just a bit and then changed the name to Kingdom Forward Fellowship of Interdependent Churches. So, by default, I became the presiding bishop, but I became bishop really because I was asked to serve on the executive committee. And I said yes to that, not knowing that he was going to tell me, you got to be consecrated as well. So, it just kind of happened. So we have churches in North Carolina, Atlanta. We have churches in Connecticut, a couple of churches in the Detroit area, Florida, and we're looking to really, and Hamilton, Ohio. That's where I'm at right now, actually Columbus.
Oh, okay.
But we're just really looking to grow that. It is a fellowship that is focused on the average church, so to speak.
Okay.
And that is a lot of times, I don't want to take too much time, but a lot of times churches that are sometimes from medium to smaller, that's the normal size church really in America. Anywhere from 75 to 100 people is a normal size church. And so we got a lot of people who feel like they can't be impactful if they have not grown to a certain place. And one of the things that we do is we got to champion it. We stand up and say, let things happen. Until it's grown to a certain size, we don't know how to do it. The tremendous impact for the kingdom of God, where you are on your way to where you go.
Okay.
So that's why it's the fellowship of interdependent churches. Every church is independent, but still interdependent because we need one another. So we're doing that. Of course, the commission movie thing is happening. We've been going back and forth to LA with that, and we're going back on tour again as soon as everything lifts. So yeah, first time the show was a lot of fun. We had a blast.
It's still delaying.
And then
I think he pushed.
I'll say this and I'll stop. The last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to create a studio probably in the Detroit area, simply for the purpose of recording whenever I want to.
Okay.
What I want to do is, if you're a songwriter, if you do music, you can do it. You know what I'm saying? I tell people all the time. I joke with Jay, about Doc. I'm 58, but I still listen to my music live. You know what I'm saying? So I need to be able to record whenever I want to. So my plan is to find an ensemble of people, maybe who don't want to go on tour, but just want to sing.
So what time should we be ready?
And they'll be kind of like the in-house recording ensemble. And just when I feel a hankering to get the music, I'm going to do it every
So we should leave at 10, shouldn't we?
So
it starts at
look forward to that. So
I think Lisa has that earphone that you need.
Well, I got one now. So.
Got one? Okay.
But she's loud.
Very loud.
Oh well. Oh, you were. Nevertheless.
Who said I was loud? Who said that?
I don't know. Somebody said.
You are loud.
I did. You loud.
You loud.
Anyway, so yeah, so there's a lot going on. And of course, all of the ministry within our ministry, we do a lot of things. So we're going to keep the best things.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Well, Bishop, I appreciate you jumping on here and talking to us.
Leah said, I'm what?
Manners. I'm the oldest.
Tell Bishop I said that we waiting on that on the first single. Waiting with bated breath.
Yeah. We're gonna do it. We're gonna do it. Just everybody just stay ready, keep singing, stay focused. So when it's time to roll, we're gonna go right in the studio. And everybody got to be ready. I'm not going to talk to Lou all night and say nothing. We ain't doing that. We're not doing that.
Luann,
already, Lou.
Luann, what about you, Luann? Because I know you're right now. You and your husband have you have a ministry, and you have things like that going on in your life. if Witness were to strike back up again, you're ready for it, huh?
Yes, yes, that would be a possibility that I would be able to travel and still do ministry. As far as what my next is, I'm really just focused on Bethel and taking care of, whatever, just holding his arms up. I don't have plans for basically, and I'm just trying to live right and go back with God. I may write a book, I may not, but I don't have anything in, like that. But if Witness were to go on the road, I'm sure it wouldn't be where I couldn't go, because we're not going to be going that much. So whenever
Diane's giving us a virtual tour.
I'm sorry, my computer's getting ready to cut off. Sorry.
Yeah.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, so that's about the size of it. Yeah, I'll be able to roll. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Leah?
I'm listening to Lou. She said, Witness, if they do go back out, they won't be doing that much. We're not.
What you say? He said,
Lou, Bishop said, how you know?
That I'll be able to go out?
No, you said Witness won't be doing too much travel.
Well, he said it wouldn't be. He had alluded to the fact that it wouldn't be a whole full players like CD. So I'm just referring to what he said. I mean, it's going to be an abbreviated group. I don't know.
Lou, we could do one thing. We could do one single. We could hit so hard that you'll be going every weekend singing that one song across the country.
Well, bring it on. Bring it on. That's all I'm saying.
That's right.
And that stuff happens. That happened when I want to say thank you. It's like they only wanted me to come for 3 years to see one song. They didn't want to hear nothing else.
Wow.
Right.
Listen, you see what I'm doing right now? I'm getting each individual one of you guys to commit to this, because I'm gonna call Bishop off the grid, and we're gonna have our own little talk.
Oh Lord.
We'll get this cracking. We gotta get this cracking. Leah, what about you? What's going on for you next?
Well, right now I've been in Germany for 10 years, and I work with an agency in Holland, and not only am I artist performing, but I also work with the agency. So we're about to the beginning of 2021 work on a project, a nice Broadway musical, which is going to be really nice, and I think